Harvey, the president of the Foster Care Auxiliary, that Natalie learned of the annual picnic for licensed foster parents in Orange County and decided to do something positive for the children. So Natalie began collecting teddy bears. She started by talking to her principal at Garden Park Elementary, who immediately committed to the project. Through her classmates and peers, Natalie collected 180 teddy bears. She then spoke to her pastor, who made a general announcement to the congregation, after which more donations were made to her cause. This past September, Natalie handed out more than 400 teddy bears that she collected to hundreds of children at the 23rd annual picnic organized by the Foster Care Auxiliary. Natalie said, "I realized how little they have and how thankful they are for every little thing they get. I really wanted to do something nice for them." At the young age of 11, Natalie is already a community service veteran by helping to provide food and clothing to the homeless. She collected toys for children less fortunate during this holiday season and aims to bring joy to children at an orphanage in Mexico. She is a member of the choir at Calvary Chapel, West Grove, and is now a student at Orange County High School of the Arts. Natalie, at this time, the Mayor and City Council would like to present you with a certificate of recognition and a gift of thank you for showing such compassion and making a difference in the lives of foster children in Orange County. Your goodwill towards others is a generous deed no less exemplary. The City of Garden Grove wishes you the best in your future endeavors. Congratulations.
Natalie, would you please come forward?
One more.
Congratulations.
I would like to thank the Mayor and the City Council for this recognition. I also would like to thank the Orange County Foster Care Auxiliary and the ones who supported me to make this happen. Again, thank you for this award.
Thank you very much. Okay, well now I'll open oral communications. Bob Owens. This will be for the council and for the agency.
Good evening. A guy said one time, he said, you know, what you ought to do when you come up with oral communication is that you ought to present it this way, and I'm listening, and I said, yeah. And I said, but you ought to learn how to win an election, because you ran 4 times and lost. So, you know, giving me advice, I don't need something in front of me. I bought a new car, bought it in Garden Grove. Huh? How about that? Steve? Huh? Buying Garden Grove. Guy says, hey, he says, we got a guy on the Chamber of Commerce. Yeah. What that cut no mustard with me, what's your bottom line? Now, I know you all ain't bought in Garden Grove. Ha-ha. You all ain't bought a car in Garden Grove, but I'll forgive you. Huh? And I know the Chamber of Commerce hasn't all bought in Garden Grove either. Huh? Most of their members go outside and buy in Garden Grove. How you like that one? Huh? That's pretty good, isn't it? Huh? Pretty good. Now, I know, look, Bill, I know it ain't true, but a guy told me, he said, no matter what beef you get in with Matt Fertel, Bill Dalton's going to back Matt Fertel. I said, that ain't true. Is it? I hope not.
I'm afraid to ask, what beef do you have with him now?
I don't know what beef you had with him.
Well, then, see, we got no problem.
I mean, I could have a beef with him. What would you do?
It would depend. If you were right, I'd back you.
Well, I voted. I don't know if I want to say I voted for you or not. I'm going to say that. What do you think? Now, let me tell you, your first obligation is the safety of the citizens. That's number 1. I'm sure you know it. Number 2 is the health of the people in Garden Grove. Huh? And the third is the welfare. The welfare means that they have enough income coming in and enough good jobs to pay their bills and pay for what you all want to collect in taxes, which we have very little say. All right? Now, Steve, I'm going to give you a break, buddy. I'm going to keep watching you, okay? See what you're made of. Because you know what? When your job was open, must have been 13 people come up here. And, you know, instead of having somebody else sell them, they pimped for themselves. I couldn't believe it. That night, this room was not lacking for egos. It would have busted the walls out. They tell you how smart they were, how clever they were, how educated they were, how qualified they were. And the mayor said, I never seen so many smart people. I didn't either. Where they been? Huh? And they wanted to be picked because they were this or they were that. You didn't do that. You were appointed. I don't know if you wanted that job or not. So I kind of been giving you a bum rap saying you're in bed with the developers, but I've kind of changed my, picture a little bit. But I expect something out of you. You know what I mean? A little muscle, As I'm watching the debates, on the fire. Now listen, I think some of you councilmen want us to go to the election for a full election because you know we're going to lose. Well, that's what you got in your mind, huh? Because that's a powerful opponent that you're going against for fireworks. You're going against the fire manufacturers. You're going against the Chamber of Commerce. You're going against money. And you're going against the mommy soxers. And they're powerful. They can get out and walk. Because when they make a presentation, they can make a good one. Because they're going to have you believe if fireworks is not here no more, that Johnny ain't going to be in the Boy Scouts, football, baseball, blah, 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 blah. And I guarantee you the money's going to be got there. It's going to be a hard one if it goes to an election. It's not a sure winner. My comments to ARP is, what are you willing to do? Are you willing to go out there and pound the pavement? Are you willing to go out there and sell it? Are you willing to go out there and back up your position? Because you've got to have a position that these fireworks are unsafe and that overrides the other. They will get the money, but they are computer savvy, these mommy sockers, and they're a strong force. You got 2 planning commissioners that you've all appointed that despise the old people for wanting to do with fireworks. You appointed them. They despise them because they've got a legitimate argument, but they think they're right. And by God, they got no right. People come up here and talk. They got no right. Mayor wants to shut me down here for a minute. I watched debates. Watch the debates. Democrats and Republicans. We got some big issues involved here. We got number 1, we got the war, the way I'm reading in my notes, watching them. Number 2, the economy. Number 3, immigration. Number 4, energy. Number 5, a nuclear attack. That could happen within 10 years, 30 to 50%. That's scary. That's scary. And the campaign is giving all kinds of signals. 45% New Hampshire. Tripping out one way or another. Tripping out one way or another.
Bob, wrap it up, please. Your time.
Yeah, I know you always want to hurry me, but you guys never want to hurry.
No. Next time, just talk faster before the red light.
Yeah, I know, I'm talking fast. But what I'm saying is you guys take time, you guys take hours. You guys take hours to go over stuff that you should be able to do in 20 minutes. But then you come to me with things I've got to say, which I feel is important to the citizens of Garden Grove, and you say the 5-minute thing is up, you're clipped off, get out. Okay? You've never encouraged people to participate. You've never encouraged people to come up here and voice their opinion. And I heard it before.
Thank you, Bob.
You thank you what? You ain't thanking me for nothing. You ain't done nothing for me.
Charles Mitchell.
Wow. What can I say after Bob Owens? Good evening, members of the council, staff. I want to commend the council on approving the new equipment for the senior center. When all that equipment is installed and the weather warms up, the seniors are going to really benefit from having that exercise equipment out in the quad area. Unfortunately, there are other things that are being overlooked. Now, in this room, the temperature is pretty comfortable for all of us. Matter of fact, the A and B rooms are comfortable when you have big events. The senior center, which is a part of this facility, which is just on the other side of the stage, has a problem. Now, I go there twice a week to play cards. And last week, it would have been comical if it were not so sad to see seniors trying to play cards when their hands are shaking so much from the cold because the heat does not work in the middle section of the senior center. And they say that the parts have been ordered, but they've been waiting for those parts to come in. Well, I don't know how much those parts cost or what it takes to get those parts here, but I think it's a shame that our seniors have to contend with a cold room in the middle of the winter when they come to have a little bit of recreation. Now, the city is involved in having a skateboard park. There's proposals to have a dog park. And I can certainly appreciate Dave Ville's concern and his people when they realize that kids on skateboards and dogs have a higher priority here than senior citizens. Thank you.
Thank you. Matt, will you make sure that someone gets a report back to us how long that's been going on and what the problem is? This is the first, I know that probably the whole council is the first we've heard of it, but we'll certainly look into it and see if we can't rectify it sooner than it sounds like it was going to be. J.T. Williams.
Well, that's a hard one to follow there, where the animals take priority over the senior citizens. But Mr. Mayor and members of the City Council, I was here, a few weeks ago, last year, and mentioned something about my place on Harbor Boulevard and what you guys intend to do with it. What can I do with it? You can't tell me what I can do with it. I've asked them, what can I do with it? What's the code on it? I get nothing. I get absolutely nothing on it. And I want to be fair to the citizens of Garden Grove. I want to be fair to everyone. That's how I've always built my business. From nothing to quite a good business in the city of Garden Grove. And I think it's about time we get together and sit down and talk and see what the appraised value of the property is, because I know you're not going to let me build a hotel there on that little spot, are you? You're not going to let me build anything else. You're not going to let me build a casino there. You're not going to let me build almost anything, even my business, the insurance business and the real estate business, income tax business. Most of all that stuff is off limits now, just about. Can't do this, can't do that. And I'd like to be fair. If you had your business down there, wouldn't you want to be fair? Wouldn't you, and being fair is doing nothing more than going out and getting an appraisal. All you got to do is go out and get some wise men that's been to college a couple of years and see if they can appraise the property and see what it's worth, and come back and give you an appraisal. And the last time I was in here, I gave you a couple of pieces of paper with an appraisal on it, with the guy's credentials on it, and he's had all kinds of credentials, that what kind of man he is and how long he's been into business, and he knows quite a few things about appraising property. He knows what the property is worth, and I haven't heard a word from the city, not one word. You guys really surprised me. I thought sure I would hear something from somebody on the council, or the staff would be contacting me, but no one has contacted me. That was a big surprise to me. And I look forward to doing business with the city, and I sure hope that we could get this thing settled. Even our former mayor, Mr. Broadwater, mentioned something about some kind of a thing back in Washington, D.C. called a memorial place. Have I been to the memorial? I didn't realize they had one in Garden Grove yet. But I know my days are limited because I do have cancer. And I don't know how many more days or how many more weeks or months I do have. And I would like to get this thing settled for my two daughters, and get this settled with the city, because I know the city has always been fair with me, and I've always been fair with them. So let's get together, man, someday in the next near future and sit down and talk it over. See what we can come around with something that we can all agree on. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you. David Ville.
Okay. Mayor, Council, my name is David Ville. I'm the president of the Garden Grove chapter of ARP. Again, I'm here for the same thing as usual. It'll be fireworks, and it will continue to be fireworks because we have members that are suffering from these fireworks. I represent the members of our Garden Grove chapter, and I am here once again to plead with you to find an end to this pain and suffering. Believe it or not, we still have our members that do suffer from these. I know that the rest of you up there, all of you up there, like myself, we don't have a problem with the fireworks. We don't live in these areas that are considered dangerous areas of fireworks. We don't see what is actually happening. This city is a huge city. It extends way all the way to Seal Beach and all the way to Orange. And you're all aware of this. You're aware of the fact that we do have a police department that cannot in any way police this area. This area is huge. And consequently, when these people call the police cannot respond because we don't have enough police, and we don't, and the area is too large. And we do have these war zone areas where these people are hurt. Now, again, how do the three of you justify hurting all of these poor people that live in these zones? Because there are three of you that are up there that voted against giving these people a chance to vote. You know, this is an election year. Your 3 seats are up for election, and so like one of the previous people that were up here, they said that they have a chance to vote. This is their chance to get out there, and if you people are not doing what they want you to do, they are your constituents. If you're not doing what they want you to do, then they have their chance in November to vote you out. Okay, now, before I go any further, I was given some information to make an announcement here regarding one of our members that has been here a couple of times to plead with you people to do something about the fireworks, because people from other cities where they don't allow fireworks, they come here and they shoot off their fireworks. Consequently, they park in front of his house, and he tries to get the police to come out there and do something about it, and they can't because they have too many calls. Okay, his name was Duke Noonan. He was in the from Garden Grove, in the U.S. Army, World War II veteran who fought against the Germans and the Japanese to protect the freedoms that we all enjoy. Has passed away. He passed away last night due to cancer. His funeral services will be held at the First Presbyterian Church located near the corner of Euclid and Chapman, right over here. And it will be Saturday at 3 o'clock. The services will be, if any of you, since I won't be able to meet with our membership until Tuesday, we will be meeting in this room over here. I know that many of them are watching TV, hopefully that they will show up for the funeral services. Again, I want to mention that I know that you don't like to see this, but I have to do it. I was a teacher and a coach for a long time, and to me, repetition is called rote learning. We do it in education. We have to bring the things over and over again. Eventually, people do understand that one match, uncontrolled, can burn this whole town down. And the thing is this, when you have fireworks that are sold the 4th of July here in this city, but not allowed in any other cities, and all of these people come here, and they shoot off their fireworks, and the citizens of this country, of this city, also shoot off their fireworks. You have all these people shooting off these fireworks. You have all of these little small fires, and a lot of our senior citizens that if their place is caught on fire, they would not be able to get out. I mean, with this young family, this last house that burned, they were able to get out because they were young. But some of these people that are incapacitated, they can't get out. I mean, well, what are they going to do? They're going to burn down, and eventually something like this is going to happen, and then all of you are going to say, "Oh, well, we didn't know." Well, the thing is this: you have been told over and over again that something serious is going to happen. Something serious did happen 2 years ago. Something seriously happened last year, and so far, we have had no positive action. So, thank you very much.
Thank you. I'm going to close oral communications and recess the city council and go to the agency. Okay. Prior to going to the agency, Mayor Pro Tem Rosen.
I want to respond to a couple of the oral communications. First, to Mr. Owens. I think when you attack Mayor Dalton, you're attacking the wrong guy. Mayor Dalton was the guy who campaigned to put oral communications back on TV successfully. So you got to give him some credit for opening up oral communications. And then to Mr. Ville, when I turned 50, my wife bought me a membership in AARP. And AARP is the leading national organization for senior citizens. And, we live in a time when Social Security is under attack. The governor gave the State of the State address earlier today, and there's going to be massive cutbacks at the state level, including services to senior citizens. And if you were representing me on AARP, there's a lot more serious things I would want my local chapter to be paying attention to than fireworks. There's a lot more danger to senior citizens than fireworks in the city. And the other thing that you say, no, you may not.
No.
The other thing that you keep saying is that we live, you make it sound like the council lives in enclaves like you do. You live in Anaheim. That's why you don't get fireworks. You live in Anaheim. We all live in the city of Garden Grove.
Okay, thank you very
Don't
much.
compare yourself to us.
Mayor, thank you. We'll go to the agency.
Thank you.
Mr. Broadwater.
At this time, we'll open up the Agency for Redevelopment in the City of Garden Grove. Kathy, would you please show everybody present? We have consent items.
Move approval.
We have a motion to approve.
Second.
Second. Any further discussion on anything that need to be pulled? Call for the vote.
Motion received, 5 yes votes.
We have no public hearings. We have items for consideration, none. Any matters from any agent members?
No.
Chet.
Yes,
I
sir.
think we've been approached tonight by Mr. Williams, and I know it's a hard thing, but I think we need to make a contact with him and see if there's anything we can help him with.
We'll follow up with that this
Okay.
week.
Nothing else. We will adjourn the Agency for, what's 14 days from tonight? 22nd, thank you. I knew somebody'd come up with that.
Okay, we'll reconvene the city council meeting. Consent items.
Mr. Mayor, it's recommended that items 6A through 6I be acted on simultaneously unless a separate discussion or action is requested by a council member.
Anyone want to pull any?
Move the balance.
Second.
Motion?
Second.
Second. Call for the vote.
Councilmember Jones?
Oh.
Motion received, 5 yes votes.
Matters? We're already at matters?
That's it.
Did I skip anything?
No.
Oh, okay. 11A is appointment to fill a vacancy on the Planning Commission. And I received quite a few applications, and it's very difficult because there are a lot of people that not only are have the desire to serve, but have a lot of qualifications to serve. And one of the things that I looked at was I looked at someone who's been dedicated, who's been on a commission before, and served for several years, and done a good job. And I have gone to other meetings, and I have sat in. I've also looked at the minutes when I haven't gone to the meetings to determine the involvement of the person from another commission that I'm going to nominate. And I think this person is a very hard-working person, gives a lot to the city, and I think deserves an opportunity to be placed on the Planning Commission. So I'm going to nominate Gene Kirkham for the open position on the Planning Commission.
Second.
I have a motion and a second.
I'd like to open for discussion.
Go ahead.
Where I work, they have about 18 people working there, and 3 of them are men. Wasn't always that way, but it has changed that. And I see nothing but women being promoted constantly, and I see every time they go for it, we're going to hire 2 new people now, and they've already picked out 2 women to fill the jobs. We have no women on the Planning Commission, and I really think that that is an error. I don't think it was done intentionally, and certainly not blaming anybody or anything for it, but 3 years ago we did have 3 women on the Planning Commission. And I think it's time that we bend a little and put a woman on that Planning Commission. So I will not be voting for Jean unless Jean's a female. And and there's a lot of people that could, I'm not taking anything away from anybody. There's a lot of people that could fill that seat on the Planning Commission. But I believe that we have a problem there, and we need to identify that problem, and we need to do something about it. And we can only do something about it when a vacancy occurs or every 2nd December. So if we don't fix or do something to change it tonight, then it'll be next December before we can change anything on it again. I just believe that now is the time to put a female on that commission.
I think everyone on this council, with the exception of Mr. Jones, who hadn't been appointed at the time, had their recommendations for this Planning Commission. And so if there are no women, and that's a strong opinion, each person had an appointment, yet none of them chose a woman for that position. And I don't think at this point that it's fair to Mr. Kirkham or someone else to hold that against him. Yes, the next opportunity for nominations will be in next year, or the end of this year, or early part of next year.
Try December.
And at that time, Mr. Broadwater or anyone else will have the opportunity to appoint or make their recommendations, because I can tell you this, all the recommendations that were made by the members of this council were followed by me. So I'm going to, if there's any other discussion, I'd be happy to listen to it. Yes, Mr. Rosen.
Yeah, just one thing about Gene that didn't come up, and that is when we have the summer concerts in the park, he's at virtually every one of them. So he's not just active at the political level in Garden Grove. He's active at every level in Garden Grove. So I agree with Councilman Broadwater. It would be excellent to have a good mix on the Planning Commission, but I'm not going to vote against a particular nominee just because he's not of the right gender, the right race or religion. I think Gene is well qualified, and he's appointed by the mayor, and unless there's some good reason, I'm not going to vote against somebody else's appointment. So I'm going to support the nomination.
Okay, call for the vote.
Motion received 4 yes votes with Councilmember Broadwater voting no.
Congratulations, Janine.
Well deserved. Okay, Mr. Broadwater.
Well, we had a great Christmas at my house, and things really been good. So really, I don't have anything. I think we ought to close the meeting tonight if we can, in the name of Duke Noonan. I'm sure you'll take care of that.
Mr. Rose.
Yeah, I want to follow through on something that I brought up at the last council meeting. We were approving some contracts for street pavement, and I asked why can't we do street paving and sewer replacement at the same time. I sort of got an answer, yeah, we'll try, but not really. And then it occurred to me that somebody came in front of the council several months ago with a housing project to add some multiple housing, and we approved it even though on our plans he won't be able to do anything for 4 years because that's when we get around to doing the sewer replacement. And it occurred to me, we know where every sewer in this city is going to be replaced for the next 7 years because we've got a chart. And it ought to be not that difficult when we're doing the sewer replacements to do the street replacements at the same time, and to make that a condition of the people who bid on those jobs that they agree to do it at a time that's coordinated. Now, I know we can't do that all the time because we probably fix streets more often than we replace sewers, but I'd like to see a little more thought given to that than simply shining it on. And, you know, if we could have somebody look into that, I'd sure appreciate that.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to comment,
Yes.
if possible, and just not taking anything away. I looked into it myself, and one of the problems that arises with the Public Works Department is when they do that sewer system, they're going a lot deeper than they do when they just do the street overlay, and they have to let that settle before they can. They have to let that sewer construction settle before they can do the overlay. So there's a period of time that they have to let that happen before they can do it.
No, but the point is, they open up the street anyway. When they're patching the street back up, why can't they do the surface at the same time?
Because when they do a whole sewer system, like they have done in the past, that has to settle. I'm sure that you're right on an individual. I mean, when they're just opening it up for one unit or something, that's a whole different ballgame.
The point is they shouldn't have to do the overlay twice.
Right.
So if there's a lag.
And you
there's a
shouldn't shut down a street like Brookhurst because you're digging the sewer system, and then 6 months later shut down the street again because you're doing the street repairs. So anyway, I'd like a little more thought given to that.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Nguyen.
I want to congratulate Kathy Baylor on taking the new position. Welcome. And I want to wish everyone out there a happy new year, and congratulations to Jean.
Mr. Jones.
Yeah, just congratulations to Jean, and look forward to just a very productive new year here in Garden Grove.
And congratulations to Kathy Baylor again. I think that sign in front of her city clerk, it really should say council babysitter, but because she's worked with Ruth for many years and has taken care of us and kept us abreast of things and made us look good, and we thank you for it. And I would like to adjourn the meeting in memory of Duke Noonan, and our condolences do go out to his family. I had met Duke a few times, and while we had a disagreement as far as fireworks and everything, he still was always a gentleman and served his country and did many things, and his soul rest in peace. We will adjourn the meeting.
Good. Yeah, sure. You don't want me to sign it, huh? What? Oh, yes, okay, she doesn't have anything to sign in. Oh, I'm sorry. You can put your coat on.